Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Good to see you. We are on Armed Radio, armeddigitalmedia.com, armedradioglobal.com. First and foremost, I want to thank my producer and engineer, Jim Bell. He is in New Hampshire. He's running the whole show out there. And then I want to thank my accidental stage manager, Leo Rodriguez. He is in Idlewild, California. There he is. Look how cute he is. Hi. Oh my God, Leo, what do you got there? That beautiful blue. What does it say? Leo, accidental stage manager. Where did you get that?
Santa sent me a Christmas gift.
Oh, wow. Well, you must have earned it. That's a really nice.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria. Yes, I sent that to Leo. I had it personalized. Anyway, it took forever to get there, but it finally did. By the way, do you know that I know you sent me tamales like 3 weeks ago? They still have not gotten here.
I think somebody ate them.
You know what? You're right. Somebody probably stole them. Sometimes people steal packages. Maybe they took them and they hit the jackpot.
I think the mail person ate them.
The mail person?
Yeah.
They might have. You know how those mail people are.
Hey, they got their services were cut, you know.
Oh,
hey, if Ron Cognali got a hold of my tamales and needed if he needed to eat them, then I would say he's a hardworking mail person.
Ron Cognali is Rena's brother. Ron Berge is Rena's husband.
Berge. Okay, that one.
That's okay. It's important because Ron Cognali is a very different person than Ron Berge.
Okay, well, Ron Berge's got the gams, right?
Right. He's got the gams. He's got the hot little legs. Rena Cognali Berge has joined us. Hello and happy Tuesday. Mandar Chick Magnet has joined us. Oh my God, Mandar, but I think he's still in California. Jean Simpson Dunn. Hi, honey bunny. She is my friend for a million trillion years from my hometown. Now she's out in Illinois, Danville, Illinois. Ed Kutu from Blade Salon, also my high school buddy. And he is in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. You want to get your hair did? You go see Eddie in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Cheryl Giuliani Rubenstein has joined us. Hello, Cheryl. Leo lost his package. Stop that, Mandar. Kenny Holt from Tennessee has joined us. Yes, thank you, Gene. I'm excited for this show too. So let me just do a little pre-thing I want to do here. So tomorrow is the Feast of the Epiphany. If you don't know what that is, it is the day that the three wise men, they followed a star. They followed the North Star.
Three kings of Orient.
I've been singing that all day. So the three kings followed the star, and they came to the manger in Bethlehem where the baby Jesus was. And then you know the rest of it. They brought frankincense and myrrh. They brought gold and all kinds of things. So, and a lot of people think, well, those are not things that a baby needed. A baby could have used some stuff from Babies R Us, but they didn't have Babies R Us yet. So that was as close to the Babies R Us. Catherine Salvio has joined us. Hi, Kat. So we're talking about the three. There's Leo. Leo, you could pop on the screen with me. The three wise men joined us. Are joining us tomorrow. Now, I was reading something very cool before this happened. Now, very interesting. The three wise men were from Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Isn't that cool? And there was a star. They followed a star in the east, and they traveled to Jerusalem. So I love history. I'm a huge fan of history, and I can get so lost in stories. So I always love the story of the three wise men. And they were said to be great students of astrology and Greek astrology in particular. Now, Leo was looking up other things. He said, what did you talk about, Leo, with the cakes and the...
Well, I know that there is a Three Kings cake, and I know that and working in French restaurants and stuff with a French chef, they would always make one, but I couldn't remember when it was, and theirs is usually around Mardi Gras, but you were talking about the Italian one.
Right, the Befana. So in Italian,
we found that.
Right. In Italian, we call the Day of the Three Kings, we call it La Befana. And what Befana means in Italian, Rena might correct me here, but it's kind of like a fairy, or like an old mystical kind of character, almost like a good witch, and anyway, my mother used to tell a story that the La Befana would come, and it was almost like their version of Santa Claus, but she was this older wise woman, and she would leave them oranges. They were very poor. They grew up very poor, my family, but that was a big deal. My mother used to say they would leave oranges and apples, and like it was a big deal, La Befana. But Leo looked up the cake, and what is the cake, Leo? That you
it's a Befana cake, so it's a Feast of the Three Kings. I guess so. This lady, she had rejected the child or the family the first time, and so she goes around and leaves this for children. I guess to
she
see
leaves
if
gifts for children, okay, because she kind of dissed Jesus. Yeah, the baby Jesus. So she's living with guilt. There's always some kind of guilt in Italian stories.
Well, I didn't know that Italy existed.
Well, it did years later.
I mean, yeah.
But wait a minute. Historically speaking, Rome didn't exist yet, right?
No.
All right. Well, anyway, Dominic Pupa says nudity. What in God's name? Why is it always about nudity with you, Dominic Pupa? Holy.
Well, so it's the 6th, right? The 6th of January. Isn't that another special day, though?
Yes, the 6th of January, which is tomorrow, is not just La Befana. It's not just the Day of the Three Kings. It's not just the day that they followed the star in the east. It's my niece Angelica's birthday. Oh my God, there she is. Hi, Angelica.
Oh.
You look beautiful. I love your eyes.
Thank you.
They look very glamorous. Are you excited for your birthday tomorrow?
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I love it.
I always loved your birthday. I always loved it. Even before you were around, because Naughty, your grandma, my mom, loved that day. It was one of her favorite days because as kids, it was a very special day for them. So when you were born, she called me. She was beside herself that you were born on La Befana, the day of the Three Kings. So, Jel, I was looking up stuff, and this is so interesting because what you do and what Dan does, it's like right in line with the show tonight. So these wise men, these three kings, they were also astrologers. They were students of astrology, and they followed this. The star to them was a sign, and that's one of the reasons that we have a star on the tree. Did you know that?
I didn't know that specifically. No, that's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So the reason that you put a star on the top of your tree when you celebrate Christmas is because of the three wise men. So that is also an homage to your birthday. And so it says, does the story contain astrological truth? The thing I was looking up online, that's how it ended. Does the story contain astrological truth? So we're bringing Dan on too, but you specifically have been a student of many mystical things, and you're really, really getting deeper into it now. And you've been doing lots of tarot readings, right?
Yeah. That's like my job is I'm a tarot reader, and I teach classes as well.
Okay. I noticed that on your website that you also teach, which is amazing. So Leo at some point will pop your website on. Okay, there it is. River Styx like the band, witch. I love it. riverstyxwitch.com.
There it is.
I love that. And it's so cool, the whole witch thing, because growing up, Nani, my mom, your grandma, used to do a lot of rituals. Like when we would go to school. Oh, there's Angelica's website. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. So you've been doing the tarot, but she used to do a lot of rituals. Like we would come home from school and she'd say, let's say you said you had a headache or something. She'd say, come in the kitchen, and we'd have to turn off all the lights and turn on candles. And she would do all these rituals to get rid of and she always thought that like it was a curse that someone had thrown on you. So it's just so amazing that you kind of sort of followed in her footsteps like that.
Yes.
So how is that going, honey? Do you find that in this new world that people are reaching out to you more than usual? Or go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I really started doing it professionally. I mean, I started doing it professionally maybe about a year and a half ago, but then it really kicked up in the fall. And I think, I think people just really were looking for that. They wanted to know what was happening in their future because the future was so uncertain.
Right.
And I've had a lot of clients just come out of the woodworks from different spheres. I've had like lawyers in DC that I've read for. I have like a lot of ongoing clients that are just like moms that just kind of want to know what's going on, and they feel like
let me stop you there on ongoing. So people don't just come for one reading; they'll come for like they'll follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. I have quite a few clients that I work with on like an ongoing basis. Typically, I don't really recommend you get a reading like every month because sometimes that can be like a lot of information.
Yeah.
All at once, unless you're doing something like unless you're getting a reading for a business and you want to see how it's like progressing every couple months, you know what I mean? But typically every 2 or 3 months I'll meet with clients and we'll do new things and that kind of thing.
Wow. Well, since you were talking, we've had an entrance. Enter stage right. Dan Crowley.
Hi.
Dan, I'm so happy you're here. Now, this is so like triply cool because Angelica and you were on a show together months ago and didn't have this platform. So you both called in, but it was such a good show. It's one of people's favorite shows, by the way.
Oh, great. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. And then for Angelica, for something, you had just graduated college. I got you a reading from Dan.
Yes.
So, but before we talk about that reading, Dan, I want to say I'm so happy you still have your tree up, and I still have my little village up because our mutual friend Liam.
I saw that.
Yes, today. By the way, what a beautiful tree!
Thank you.
So, what they were talking about was take down your damn trees, and we both chimed in to say that we don't take down our trees until January 6th.
Yeah.
Because it's just a thing. And my mother would have been sad. Like, we just don't take down. So I'm so glad you still have your tree up, Dan.
Yeah, I normally wouldn't, because we usually get a real tree, which dries out by like New Year's Day. So we have to take it down. But this is the first year we got a fake one. And then once last week I knew I was doing your show, I was like, oh, Maria's going to like the tree.
I love the tree. Now, I just looked up a few things today. The star that we put on the top of the tree is for the three wise men, which I never knew. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I feel like I read that years ago.
Okay, so Dan, I'm going to go back and forth, and we can all jump in. This is a conversation, so I don't want either one of you to feel like, so Angelica was saying that I asked her if people are coming out more and asking for more readings or less. What's happening because of the whole crazy 2020 thing? Dan, do you feel that people are reaching out to you more now? Are they more cautious? How do you feel?
I had a really good amount a few months ago when I first put a blast on Facebook that I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Come out. I had so many bombarded. I was like, I had to keep like a wait list, and I kind of got through all of that. So now now I'm doing like 1 or 2 a week, not as many. So I've definitely got plenty of time, but people have been really happy. I've been having the best success with friends of friends, because obviously when you do a friend's reading, it's someone you know very well, you know their life path, you know where they've been. And when it's a total stranger, sometimes you don't necessarily feel the freedom to really say like, hey, did you have a bad relationship with your mother or something like that? Because it could be a little awkward. So I find when it's a friend of a friend, that's someone who has referred me to someone. So I know this person exists, but I've never met them before. I feel comfortable asking them anything, but it's still like a blank slate. So those have been the best readings that I've been getting out.
Now, Angelica, I'm going to throw it to you. Do you find a similar thing? Would you prefer to read people you don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really read people like in my immediate family typically, or even just my immediate friend group, just because it's like Dan said, it's, you feel less confident saying like, oh, like, you know, the next couple months I'm not really seeing good things for you, you know what I mean? But if it's someone that I do, like total strangers, and most of my clients are total strangers, like they just see me on something or come across me on social media. And that I love. And I like adding like a little bit of like an anchoring detail about the person, you know what I mean? You know, like typically what they do for work, just so I have like a container to talk about their life, you know what I mean? But yeah, I prefer reading for people I don't know.
That's interesting. Okay. I would, if it were me, I would prefer to read for. Also, I think it's a little more challenging too, because you don't know anything about them. So when you do hit like the nail on the head, I would feel a lot of satisfaction as a reader, you know, versus like Dan, if you did my astrological chart, but you know me pretty well. So you know a lot of those things but I loved it. I thought your reading was amazing.
Thank you.
And Angelica, when Dan read you, did you, I know you guys had a great experience because I talked to both of you about it. Did you enjoy the reading?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love astrology and I love the natal chart. And yeah, I feel like Dan, you really like opened me up to my natal chart, because I hadn't investigated it that deeply. Like I knew my basic planets and what signs they were in, but I didn't know too much about how it all intersected. So that really helped, and it sparked me, because then I ended up taking an astrology class this fall with a Greek astrologer who's like incredible. And it definitely, like, the whole time I was thinking about your reading, I was like, oh, that's like what Dan was saying about this and this. And
I love that. That's, oh, wow, look at that. That's pretty. Did you notice our promo, Leo put Age of Aquarius, which I thought
that was so fitting, because that's actually when you asked me about what's going to be happening in 2021, that's going to come up. So
okay, so let's go right into it, Dan. So one of the things that I think we can't help it, but it was a very challenging year, as we know. We're kind of coming out of the clouds. But I think we still all have this kind of like anxiety, this perpetual anxiety of not knowing. So what can you tell us, Dan? Just what can you tell us?
I can say that I'm seeing Dominic Pupa write inappropriate things on there. And I wore a caftan for her too.
I know. Dominic is jealous of what you're wearing tonight.
I actually always wear them when I do a reading, because it helps me like center myself to like a Walter Mercado sort of mystical world, and they're so comfortable. But yeah, so all the astrologers that I spoke to throughout 2020, none of them knew exactly what was going to happen. Everyone knew it was going to be a really challenging year, that horrible things were going to happen, but they didn't know specifically. Like nobody knew, oh, there's going to be a pandemic. Like it could have been tsunamis or earthquakes, or, or just, a lot of obviously like political unrest came up a lot this year.
Right.
So like they all said, but halfway through the year, they were like, wow, we knew it was going to be a bad year, but we didn't know it was going to be this. Wow. And that it really spoke to just where all the planets were, especially the outer planets. Because all the inner planets are the ones that make us our own personality types, our sun, moon, our rising, your Mercury, Venus, Mars. But the outer planets stay in a sign for a really long period of time, because they move so slowly around the sun.
Wow.
So they kind of influence whole generations, and they kind of influence the cultural consciousness of people. So in all of 2020, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, 3 really powerful outer planets, were all hanging out together in Capricorn. And Angelica, you're a Capricorn from what I remember, right?
Yeah.
I thought that. Yeah. So there, and this is not to say that Capricorn is bad at all. I mean, I like to think of every sign as having a high road and a low road. So there's no good sign or bad sign. You can go to either one. And Capricorns at the high road are excellence and integrity and getting the job done and being the best at what they do and providing for their family because of how hard they work. But Capricorns at the low road are all about power and deceit and greediness and corruption, especially corruption of government. Wow. And we definitely saw a lot of that this year. Richard Nixon was a Capricorn. So that was definitely a low road of Capricorn, Wow. So with those 3 really powerful planets hanging together, and then they go forward, then sometimes they go retrograde and they go forward. So for all of 2020, they were together. And the last week of 2020, Jupiter and Saturn finally moved into Aquarius. So they're saying we're moving into the age of Aquarius.
And what does that mean? for the layperson like me?
Yeah. Aquarius is it represents independence and humanitarianism, and just being a very unique, odd individual, not following the path, embracing friendships, and
I like Aquarians.
Yeah, well, we're both air signs, and so are they. So they can be like wackadoodles, but from what I read, a lot of astrologers are predicting there should be a cultural shift just towards more kindness and people being nicer with those 2 planets in Aquarius. It signifies just a shift into something light.
Wow.
And one of the coolest things I read was that for a short time in February, when we're actually in Aquarius season, there's going to be a short window where we have 7 planets in Aquarius, which has not happened in hundreds and hundreds of years.
Really?
It's rare to have more than like 3 planets in a sign at a time.
Wow.
I think Angelica, you had a lot in Capricorn, right?
Yeah, I have, I think, 5 planets in Capricorn and then 2 asteroid goddesses.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, because I have 5 planets in Libra, and that's a lot. But when we have 7 planets in Aquarius, the last time that happened was right at the very beginning of the Renaissance. So I just think that could be such a cool.
But Dan, think about that. We are in a we will be in a Renaissance because after bad things, and we have to rebuild. They were talking about Broadway yesterday. I forget who it was. I'll think of it in a minute. But that there will be a Renaissance now, because everybody's had all this time and we've all been creating, and it's going to be this amazing. That's exactly what they were saying. Now, my friend Jean Simpson, Jean Simpson Dunn, who I love, who we went to high school together and we've been friends for 40 years. She's an Aquarius. She is also loves this stuff. And she asked Dan if you have a website. Do you, or how do they reach you, Dan?
Yeah, I'm working on building a website, but for now you can reach me through my email.
Okay.
Or there's the Facebook right there. And my email is DJ Crowley. So just DJ, my last name Crowley, 924@gmail.com. I sent it to Leo so he can put it up in the link. Leo, wherever you are, I sent it in the messenger. And then just send me birth date, birth info, birth date, birth time, birth city. I need those 3 things, and I can build a chart for you.
Yes, Dan did my chart, and it was incredible, Dan. It was incredible. I loved it. And Dan is very great with spending time with you and explaining things that, like, I didn't know what it meant, and you were great at explaining it, breaking it down. I cannot recommend a chart read by Dan enough. And it also makes a wonderful gift, especially these days. We don't know what to give each other. I don't know what people need. And so it's just a wonderful gift to give someone. So thank you, Dan, for that.
The last chart I read was a gift. Our good friends Peter and Elaine wanted to give their daughter's best friend, who's a very exuberant young gay man in college, and he's just 19 years old. They wanted to give him a chart reading. So I did one for him, and it was so much, he was so full of energy and excitement. And it was a nice gift for them to do. And
Elaine just had a birthday. Yep.
Yeah. Since it's a gift, and with 2020 and COVID, I don't charge a very specific rate. For now, I'm saying donation based only. If you're out of work, you pay what you can. If you are working, pay a little more. I've been getting anywhere between, $20 from the people who are out of work to $100 from people who are working. Okay. I give you like a 30 to 45 minute reading over the phone. So,
and it's really, I had mine done. It's amazing, because I've had my chart done a few times, but it was really, I'm not just saying it, Dan, because you're my friend. It was the best one I ever had. It was the most thorough, and you really explained it. And it just almost like windows opened up that I could actually see, what they meant. Now, Angelica, you also do readings. Do you do them by phone? Do you do them by Zoom? How do you handle it?
Yeah, so I have 3 different types 3 different reading types, essentially. I have Zoom call readings. They're typically like 45 minutes to an hour. Then I also have email readings where I write an email report and send it to you. It's about 1,000 words. And then I have a video recording where I sit here and do the video, and then I send it to you via like a private YouTube link.
Wow.
So available.
Okay, and your website is River Styx like the band, River Styx Witch.
Yes.
Is it .com?
Yes, it is. And my Instagram page is it's poppin'. It's where everything is. It's Riverstick Witch or Instagram at Riverstick Witch. So that's another great resource. That's probably where I'm most active, is on Instagram.
Okay, now let me ask you, because I always want to ask people that do readings. Do you ever see something that comes up and you think, oh no, how am I going to tell this person this?
It happened to me once. I was reading at a bar in Salem, because that's what I did like a lot. Not this past summer, but the one before that.
Because you live in Salem. Okay.
Yeah, when I was in Salem, I would just go to bars and lounges and read. I would like get deals with the bar and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's great. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And I read for this guy, and I knew that he had like a really bad medical condition, but I never want to tell someone that, because you don't know if they don't know, you know what I mean? And you don't want to like bring it up, especially if they're like at a bar just hanging out. So I kind of skirted around it. And then he was like, well, I know you're not a good reader because you didn't say that I had cancer. And I was like, well, I knew, but I just didn't want to ruin your night if you didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like there was some bad medical condition that you were suffering from, either present or near future. And I just couldn't find the words to tell him in that moment. And he was like, well, I don't believe you, and walked away. And I was like, all right, whatever, you know. It's just
that's intense.
It was, and I think about it all the time, and I think about it, and there's a huge conversation in the tarot and astrology world about like the ethics of it, and like what you should disclose and what you shouldn't, and a lot of tarot readers just don't read for medical stuff.
That's very, very, very interesting. And I got to tell you, and then there's other times. Well, Jean Simpson says her husband is 75 today. I need to have his chart done. Yeah, Jean, I can't recommend, reach out to Dan. If anybody needs Dan, it's Dan Crowley. No, DJ Crowley 924. Right?
At Gmail.
At Gmail. And then Angelica is riverstickswitch.com. So if someone wants to have their tarot done, Angelica, how much time do they need to give you? Is it a specific day that you can do it on, or what's your schedule like?
Right now, it's I'm just doing it all the time. I actually write freelance or I actually am more of a contributor now for Which Way magazine, which is like a big magazine, right? And then so I do that, and then I do readings, and that's basically my full-time job. So
that's really, really cool. Now, I also want to talk about, you were on another podcast recently with the Bachelorette girls, right?
Yeah. So I have strangely enough got my way into like the Bachelor world. I love the Bachelor, and I just started doing like Bachelor predictions. And so I've been on podcasts for that fairly recently, which has been so fun.
I listened to one. I loved it. You were great. So much information.
Yeah, that was my first podcast episode.
Yeah. Oh, Leo has a question. Yes, Leo.
I have a question. Angelica, I'm so excited to ask you. Hi, Dan.
I love this group. This is an amazing group. Go ahead.
What deck do you feel comfortable? Do you use a couple of decks? Do you use a certain deck yourself? And was it given to you, or did you choose it yourself?
Excellent question, Leo.
Yeah, the you have to be given a tarot deck thing, I don't think is true at all, because I don't think I was given one. I think I was given one deck by Leah, but for the most part, I buy all my decks. You have to start with Rider-Waite. It's just so good, and it's the deck that about 80% of the mass market decks are based off of. So like all the indie decks, and like you'll see like steampunk tarot, or like the David Bowie tarot, it's all based off of the Rider-Waite system.
Rider-Waite.
Yeah, Rider-Waite.
Okay.
So I would really recommend that deck, and then Thoth deck is the other big one. It's was originally created by Aleister Crowley, who was like an occult philosopher in the 1920s.
The one deck that I've had that I've used and I really like is the Osho Zen aspect of the tarot. And so because it talks of rebirth, and everything is a generated rebirth, so that's the one that I have in my collection.
Wow, Leo, listen to you with all your information. I'm impressed.
Well, I also love it. I also love that she ascribes to the Greek cosmos, and that's a conversation we'll have to have for a long.
I know.
Long
I saw the private the feed where you had played. What's the role you had played, Leo?
Tiresias.
And what's Tiresias known for?
Tiresias is the blind prophet you'll find in the Greek history, their religion. It appeared in the Odyssey, appeared in the Bacchae, was the prophet who told Oedipus what the truth was. And there's a couple other stories that he's appeared in. Lived life as a woman and a man in his legend.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a great, and so I've played him in Cyprus on the ancient stages, and also one of my plays is about Tiresias' rebirth now. So we got a lot to talk about, girl.
We really do. This is why I wanted to have these two amazing people on. Well, Dan is my great friend, and Angelica is my niece. But I always tell her if she wasn't my niece, I'd choose her as a friend. She's an amazing person.
Dan is my Madonna soul sister.
Right. And Leo, of course, is our Rodriguez is our accidental stage manager. Leo, show everybody the mug I bought you for Christmas. It says Leo, accidental stage manager. There it is. Now, Angelica, do you mind disclosing what you charge, or would you rather not? Would you rather have a private conversation with people, or how do you handle it?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, here's the thing. Right now, my website, I soft launched it, so it hasn't like officially made it to Instagram or TikTok or like any other places that I usually hang out. Okay. So if anybody wants a reading right now, the prices I have listed on my website are kind of like my upped prices from what they are now. So I will charge you my current prices, which are $38 for a video or a email, and then $48 for a live Zoom call.
I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah, that's my like current, and then my website will officially launch, I think, next week for the new moon. So
so honestly, folks, both of these people are these are very reasonable prices for something that is going to make you. It's going to give you insight. I mean, I when I get readings, it just blows my mind. It just opens up my mind. And it's almost like doors open that I can walk through, windows open that I can see through. And it gives you, like Angelica, you're very much in the mystical world, but when Dan did your reading, you saw things differently. I like that you said that. And it's just the same thing. You know, I had a reading done in Salem, by the way, many years ago. We were talking about people predicting things. And the woman said she never talked about what it was. But she pulled a card. I mean, whatever the card went down, and it was this devil jumping out of a building that was burning, and the devil had no feet. And I was like, "What is that?" And she said, "You know, you're running from something. It's not gonna work out well. This thing is chasing you, and it's not gonna work out well." And I knew immediately what it was. And it was my addiction at the time. I mean, I've been sober a long time now, but at the time it was my addiction. And it was so powerful, that moment. So I said it to her. I knew what it was. And she said, "Yep, that's it." So I appreciated that she kind of like launched it, but she didn't like crush me with it and kind of let me come to it. So I appreciate that you both do that. But
that's kind of how you have to. Because I've had a lot of people actually be like genuinely afraid at the beginning of their readings. They're like, "I'm actually really scared for what you're going to tell me." And I'm like, no, I don't subscribe to doom and gloom astrology at all. I like if I see something that could be negative in your chart, I like to see it as a challenge. And how are you going to rise above it, and not, something awful is going to happen. That's just not my style. So don't be afraid at all. It's not like that.
Yeah,
I read very similarly.
What, Jill?
Sorry, I read very similarly to what Dan was saying too. I feel like I don't know. There's really no bad cards in the deck. There's just cards that will reveal things about yourself, and whether or not they're bad or good, that's for you to decide. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So that's kind of how I read and how I interpret it. And it's so strange. I have a lot of like Christian clients, and I'm like, do your pastors know your?
Yeah, but you know what? Let me. I'm going to totally challenge you on that. Yeah. We grew up Catholic. My mother was very devout. I went to Catholic school for 10 years. Most of my friends before you know, before I was a teenager and went into theater, all my friends were Catholic. And then in theater, I met all kinds of different religions. But we all have those. I think every religion has those, like, you know, that mystical side. It has the practical side and the mystical side. And if you think about even the story, if we want to take the story of the three kings, it's all mystical.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that makes total sense, because I don't really think that, I think it's all connected anyway. I think it's all connected. Like, I think there's only one God, but we just call him different names, or it different names, whatever you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I also think that there is this one energy that surrounds us. It's just this vibration, and it's what we can plug into. I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I did a class actually last Saturday that was about that topic. It was about pantheism, which is exactly what you just described, is the idea that, like, God is kind of one, and everything is God, you know what I mean? It's like both, but at the same time, he has all these different faces. And so I did a class about that, kind of in the Greek cosmology, and how we see, like, you know, when the Greek gods were born, they split from that one god to Gaia and Uranus, who is, you know, we see in astrology a lot. And then it was split again with the Titans, and then it was split again with the Olympians once humans came about.
Interesting. So
like a whole Marvel universe.
Yeah, it is.
It's so amazing.
I have a question before. I know there's a genius just bursting in the green room right now.
Okay.
But I have a question for you guys. Whenever I get a reading, I always go and they ask me, well, what do you want to know? And I never really want to know. I never have a question.
Right.
I always say, tell me, you know, if it's going to connect, it's going to connect. And that, do you find it easier when somebody has a question? And like, I think it would be harder for you, Dan. Is it harder for you, Dan, just going through the chart?
I have such a structure now to my readings that now that I've been doing them, I have them kind of set part 1, part 2, part 3. And generally by the end of it, and the last thing I'll ask at the end of my third section is, do you have any questions? And most people don't have any, because I've touched on most of the things that they wanted. It's so much about their past, about where they've come from and where they're going to. It's not like that, oh, you're going to fall in love next year. It's not really the way that works. It's more like, okay, so was this year a challenging year for you? So I knew, and I name any random year because I'll look up their birth chart, and then we kind of talk about it. And like you said, I had one guy, and it looked like in his chart, just from the way the planets were, when I researched that aspect, it said a very difficult relationship with your mother. And I didn't want to come right out and say, like, did you have a bad relationship with your mother? I've never met this guy before. So I just said, you know, can you talk to me about your childhood? Like, because there's something you're indicating, like that you weren't allowed to express your emotions, or, you know, you had to hold back and be cold. Like, what was your mother relationship like? And he goes, oh my God, you just described my childhood. My mother didn't like me. I didn't like her. And we haven't spoken in over 10 years. And that's okay, because I'm in my 40s, and that's it. And I was like, wow. But I didn't want to come right out and say that, you know? So I kind of have to pull them to me sometimes.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
I personally, I think, though, most people are open to hearing things if it's going to help them or elevate them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all secretly want to be elevated, you know, really, no matter where we're at in our lives, we want to see light, you know. Leo, now, tonight we do have another guest joining us because of the whole mystical thing. And of course, she is Lynn Portas, genius. Oh my God.
You know, you're talking astrology. You're talking to me. I've been studying astrology since I'm a little girl. I want to tell you, I'm old. I'm older than all of you.
Yesterday?
Yesterday. But, you know, and you Greek astrology, like, I would never have an operation on, well, you're a Capricorn, so you control the knees. So she would never have an operation on her knee in a full moon in Cancer, because it's a Capricorn. No, you would never. Maria, you just would never.
I don't know these things.
She has to know. When you think Capricorn, you think knees, because they have issues.
Is that true?
There's a lot. There's an emusi for that.
Okay.
Now, every part, like the Aries, okay, you're not going to have brain surgery, and when Libra, you know, you go to the opposite sign, right? The opposite of when a full moon, when you're in Libra in October and the full moon is there, you're not going to have brain surgery. on the full moon.
I
Hippocrates
wouldn't
is
even
very
dream of
clear.
it.
Don't have surgery. You wait till the full moon. It's out of the full moon in that planet before you have surgery. I mean, that's how serious it is. I studied astrology. I never meet a person and not ask them their birthday, and I'll never forget. I'll
That's
forget their
true.
name. I'll forget everything about them, but I will never forget your sign.
That's true. Do you
What's
have
my
sign? What's my sign, Lynn?
You have your own. I could sing your song. Sagittarius. There's a song for everybody.
So let me just tell people, if you don't know, Lynn,
I'm a Scorpio. It's very important, of course. And the astrologers go, of course, she's a Scorpio. She don't shut up. No, but I am the last day. Dave, I'm the last day. I'm 21. Libra rising, which matters. The moon in Taurus is the music and all that. And I was born, of course, on a full moon because, right, when your moon is in the opposite sign. So I'm moon in Taurus and Libra rising. And I have to talk fast because I'm at the end of the show. And I love astrology so much that I put a section of astrology on my app. And it's called astrology. So I put like Mercury's in retrograde, before you go, double check, before you go, double check. You can't be too careful. So what the heck? Go over in your mind each decision that you made. Mercury's in retrograde. Mercury's in retrograde. Not direct. That kind of thing. And the idea.
Lynn has this company called EMUSIAPP.com, and Leo's put it up. And it's only $1. You get it on your smartphone, and she has 1,500. They're little useful text that you can send, and there's different sections.
Yeah, but Mercury in retrograde is a very common sending. People like to send it. I like to send Mercury's direct because kind of lets people, down a little, kind of calms them down a little bit. But there is a lot of fun in astrology, and there's a lot of stereotypes. All right, Dan's going to tell you, it's just because, you're a Taurus doesn't mean every little thing bothers your sensory. But Taurus controls the senses, right? The nose, the smell. They're super sensitive. Something scratching, everything's got to be perfect, soft and sweet. So that breaks for a great funny song about Taurus. Like
play it. You know it?
Yeah, or like Cancer, they worry. They're water sign. So Cancer. Let's try. Cancer, don't worry, it'll all be okay. They're so. Let's try it. Yeah. Cancer, don't worry, it'll all be okay. There's only so much that you can do for your family today. You get the idea, like you put it in the song. Like they like to be by the water, relax by the water, watch an old movie. You're gonna cry because they cry over everything.
Lynn,
they can't.
Can you do Capricorn Libra? Because that Angelica's a Capricorn and Dan's a Libra.
Capricorn. See, now Capricorn was probably the last one that I wrote, and you could probably guess why. And people say because Capricorn are boring. No, it's not that. It's that Capricorn is a lot of responsibility. They're very responsible people. Yeah, I'll read you the lyrics. Capricorn, you state your case with such a resolution. You're taking care of business. You'll find a solution because you're calm when the rest of us are kicking and screaming. You've got a plan. Well, we'll keep on dreaming. But the idea. Oh, sorry, I just killed my phone. The idea is that they're grounded when the rest of us are nuts. When the rest. So that was my Capricorn song. By the time I set the equipment up, I have no time. But Libra is good. Okay, we ready for Libra?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is one of my favorites. That's because it's you, Dan, so I might as well make it. Wait. Libra. Okay, I have to look at the words.
And Maria's girlfriend, Judy, too.
Yeah.
Oh. I need like a Latin. No, country. It's a country beat. Okay, here we go. A little country. Hold on. Here we go. That doesn't matter. What to do, Libra? You change your mind again. Take your time, Libra, because your day never ends. You balance the scale, you want peace, no matter the cost, and it gets very expensive. Right. You need a favor, just ask it. If there's room in your basket, you're cerebral and you're thinking, but you're driving us to drinking, because we're still waiting, Libra, any day, and you're still the boss. But the idea you put in there that they are making decisions, but they don't want to make a wrong decision. And that's the problem with the stereotypic Libra. People say, oh, they can't make a decision. No, they will make a decision, and God help you when they do. But they do see the both sides, and they say, if I break up with this guy that I continue to stay in this terrible relationship with, maybe it won't happen next. Maybe it's because Libra's always thinking about maybe. So you can't really put them in that category that they can't make a decision.
Right.
It's actually a sensory problem. They're very cerebral, too cerebral sometimes.
Yeah,
Too
and they're
much.
super smart. Every Libra I've ever met is very smart. Listen, I got to take a second to do the food section of our show. Go ahead. Keep eating.
Oh, what are we eating?
All right. So I went with the Three Kings, and I went with the theme of the Three Kings were from the Middle East, right? They were from Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. So I went with the Middle Eastern dish. Let me just I put it here. So this is cube chicken, and it's with onions, garlic, sesame, cumin, paprika, tomato paste, and mixed vegetables, parsley over brown quinoa rice. So that's that. For our salad, Angelica, I think you're going to particularly like the salad. So this is a romaine. This is a romaine lettuce with beets, goat cheese, and I crushed pistachios over that. And I'm going to put a sesame infused oil with balsamic vinegar. And now, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is very important. So tonight we have, because it's a mystical night, I have little unicorn strawberry cakes. And because it's Angelica's birthday tomorrow, we have to sing happy birthday. Hold on. We have to do it. Happy birthday to Angelica. Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Angelica. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, blow it out, Angelica. Perfect.
Good job.
Wow. How did you do that? That was very mystical.
Magical.
Love it. That's so fun.
Unicorn magical strawberry cakes. Wow. So Lynn, you've been studying astrology forever. Dan, when did you start studying astrology?
And I've been reading about it since I was a kid. Probably like I went in depth about 20 years ago.
Okay. And
when I was in college. Yeah.
Angelica, when did you become interested and start studying the tarot?
The tarot, when I was, I think 15 or 16. So
Okay.
it's been almost 10 years at this point.
Wow.
Like 8 years or so.
Wow. So tomorrow is your birthday. Are you excited about it, or are you having a COVID birthday like the rest of us? Or
I'm excited.
yeah, birthdays are great.
I love my birthday. I don't know why. I'm just like, I just love it.
I know. It's birthdays are fun. I love my
She's
birthday.
Capricorn because they go backwards. She get right there. Tell her.
They get better. Yeah, they get better as they get older. Yeah.
Like if you studied tarot at this young age, you can't imagine what you're going to be when you're like old like me. No, I mean it. You know, granted the Scorpio kind of has that. Has to do everything now. You're, you're gradual. You're that goat, right? You're climbing. Think you're grounded. There's no stopping you. You're gonna do great.
Thank you so much.
I love that. Well, that's why I had the goat cheese in the salad.
Right?
I'm telling you, I was prepared.
Goat.
But I
love your shirt and I love the tree.
I know.
Oh, no, this is a full caftan.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Me and my husband, we've embraced the caftans since the beginning of the pandemic. It started as a joke. We ordered them just to be like, oh yeah, we'll just wear them around the house because we can't go anywhere. Cut to, we're both like, these are the most comfortable things ever. Every time they have a sale, we buy more. We have 25 of them in our
And
closet.
you know who started that? Dominic Pupa. Dominic Pupa
Yep.
started all the caftan. Everybody's wearing.
Angelica, I have to tell you that I have always looked at The Bachelors. I only go on to find their birthdays. I don't
Yeah.
ever. I could predict like the last season. I knew. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
and nobody does that. And so I'm like, I'm going to be the first one that does it. And so
No.
I emailed all these people and they were like, yeah, come on our show.
no, but they're like the Scorpio is gonna hook up with that Cancer the last season, of course. And I'm
Exactly.
like, it's this. It was sorry, I think it was a Libra and a Cancer. I'm like, hello. I
Yeah.
knew what she was gonna go for. But you'd be surprised. But you can do their charts. You can get their charts, and you can say, "There's no way she's going with him or he's going with her." But
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
believe me, people use astrology all the time at work, in workplaces. You don't know. I mean, your birthday is out there. It's on Facebook. I know. I
Listen,
need to know your birthday. It's very important.
I do it all the time too. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I always want to know when people's birthdays are, and I can figure out sometimes just by their behavior what sign they are. I usually get it on the first or second try.
Oh yeah, and nobody misses Gemini, and you and I together, Scorpio and Gemini, right? We're air and water, but we're
exactly 6 months apart. The 21st of May, 21st of
Taurus. You're 21. You're 21, and I'm 21. So
Yeah.
I also study numerology, and that's your next thing. Angelica, numerology, right, Dan? It's like
I've
mind.
dipped my toes into the numerology.
Okay,
I know I'm a 7.
You're $38. Next year, change it to 39. It's a much better number for you. As soon as she said 38, I was like, no, make it 39.
Well, yeah, they're changing next week. So
Okay, yeah, because 38, there are certain numbers that carry difficulty. So if you have a choice to choose a number, I mean it. Even when I get an apartment or a house, I would always make sure the address is. I would never take a
Linny,
number.
I got to throw this in because we have about 5 minutes left to our show. Lynn and I are teaching a really fun class.
She's teaching it. I'm there for the ride.
Well, we're doing it together. It's Thursdays. It's 6 consecutive Thursdays starting January 21st from 7:30 to 8:30. It comes out of the Mayo Performing. There it is, mayoarts.org/education/Performing Arts School, PAS. And what it is, it's called Sip and Song. So it's an hour class, and every week I create a cocktail and a mocktail, and I send you ahead of time the ingredients, and then I make the drinks for you so you can learn how to make them. And then we sing. We sing for the rest of the class. So Lynn will play. Lynn will sing some songs. I'll sing some songs. Maybe people will get in there and sing some songs. So it's just a fun hour to hang out. It's $120 for 6 weeks. So it comes to about $125 for 6 weeks, comes to like $21 a class. And you don't have to be the only person on frame. Like you can bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your whatever, your best friend, and your family. So it's really going to be like a fun hangout for a bunch of people. Sip and Song, and that's the if you want to join. So it's January 21st, 6 consecutive Thursdays. So that's a fun thing that we're going to be doing together as well, and I'm excited about that. But it's true. I always ask people signs, and I find that I think it's just dead on.
It helps.
It's
Always.
just dead on, right?
My husband asks people what he works when he hires people now. Everybody knows, my whole family, all my kids, everyone knows astrology. You have to. It's crazy not to. It's only going to help you in your life. You want to know
what my favorite sign is?
What?
What's your favorite sign? Sagittarius.
Go ahead. Keep eating.
Oh my God. So Leo is modeling our, we do have merchandise. Thank you, Leo. He's so cute. So here's our apron, 25 for the apron. It's our piece de resistance. It's our blue apron, and you can get that for 25. Our tote bag is 10. It's reusable. It's washable. It's great. This is a really cool item. It's 10. And of course, our mug, Leo, show your mug. Leo,
my mug.
And I tonight have tea. So
this mug,
it says, go ahead, keep eating. And these are
this
10.
mug.
Thank you, Leo. I forgot all about the merchandise tonight. So we have a lot of cool things. We want to remind people because we're almost done. I'm sure Jimmy's going to tell us. We're going to be, how much time we have, Jimmy? A couple of minutes? We want to less than
about a minute and a half.
About a minute and a half. Okay, we want to thank Angelica Schlieff, and she is reading tarot. She's doing an excellent job. She's very busy, so get her right away. River Sticks like the band, witch.com, and also River Sticks Witch on Instagram. And you can book a tarot reading with Angelica. If you want to have your chart read by Dan Crowley, I highly recommend both of these people. DJ Crowley, CROWLEY 924 at gmail.com.
It's a great gift for a newborn baby. Somebody just had a baby during COVID, have the natal chart, Dan.
Hold on one second, and we'll keep this going. I want to thank Jim Bell. He's a producer and engineer. I want to thank Farms Radio, and I want to thank Leo Rodriguez, he's our stage manager. Thank you, Jimmy. We'll see you next week. You guys stay right here for a second.
Oh, Seamus said hi.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Seamus. All right, you guys, I love you
Seamus.
so much. Thank you for coming on the show, and I want people to reach out to you. Angelica, happy birthday. I love you with all my heart since the day you were born.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Angelica is my pride and joy. So I love that everybody was here tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Love being here.
My loves.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.